Hello everybody and welcome, my name is Alistair. Today I'm going to show you guys my tank, just a nice quick video. So my tank that I use for MSOD and two builds I have just for general running advanced dungeons. Something to note on the tank is that your stats obviously are important, but you can have a lot lower stats and get through all content in the game. For instance, this is my MSOD build. My hit points are 2.14 mil, so low for a tank in mod 32. My defense is relatively high, and my critical avoidance is high, but my awareness is right down because the boss doesn't actually do combat advantage damage upstairs. But for most content, 90s across the board will do. Even just a 90 crit avoidance and a 90 in defense will do for a lot of content. So tanking is going to be the easiest. Deflect and deflect severity isn't really all that important, and I would rather build into hit points or damage resistance before then. So that's how a little quick go through my Paladin. I'm running this for the item level, as I don't need the awareness from the headpiece from Emlond, which is this one here, giving 8% awareness and stamina regen. So the extra hit points means bigger shield, but also just helps the healers out a wee bit more. Over here, I've got the AP orbs, so whenever I'm healed up to full hit points, I will drop AP orbs once every 30 seconds. This helps the DPS and MSOD just get their dailies back quicker. I will deliberately stand in reds to make this proc, and I don't really suffer for it. This is has potential to be a great piece. It's okay for tanks because it gives that 4%, but it gives me no offensive ratings at all. Luckily, tanks are overcapped on ratings because we don't need deflect and deflect severity at the moment. They're not really affecting our builds that much. And so this realistically, if they had done it with the tank stats, I mean, all the bonuses like this, when you are below a certain amount of hit points, usually you gain the defensive stats when you're lower. They've kind of designed it so it's for tanks, but why would you need more power when you're lower? Surely you'd need a greater amount of hit points or movement speed. So it looks like a DPS piece that they've accidentally messed up and put the wrong way around. If it was the other way around, it would be a brilliant piece. But unfortunately, I literally run it just for that 4%. I could run a number of other arm pieces, like this one or this one that gives the healing orbs, but the healers are usually doing it anyway. Here, Mastercraft weapons to give everybody that bonus of 2% to their base damage, healing, or tankingness. Boots that just increase my maximum hit points. Not that I really need them, I could run anything there. And then I'm just running anything for stats apart from the Apocalypse. Marilith is great for the drops. And as I said, I'm running Apocalypse set for the neck and waist, obviously increasing the damage the boss takes. I also have the Vistani, and the Vistani does a similar thing. I'd rather rock the Vistani because the Vistani gives that flat 5% when you cast in a damaging AoE, while the Apocalypse you have to proc. You know, you have to do it 5 times whenever you critically strike. And on a tank, you critically strike low, so realistically healers should be on Apocalypse and tanks should be on Vistani. But I'll run with whatever people want me to run. This ring here from the Ash for stats, obviously. The crazy thing is that the advanced rings for the most part are better than the master rings in the new dungeon. I think that's insane. There's no point in, if you're wanting to farm rings, there's no point in running a lot of the master rings, are just no good. Illiterate's Grace, obviously to increase the damage the boss will take, as this is a support tank. I'm running the Bloodwoven. I have considered, as you see, because these are all bound to character, I can't move them around. I am considering looking, I don't think I've got it here. There's a piece that, oh there we go, 40. It gives 40. I've considered running that, and there's another one that I think gives crit strike. I've been considering running that or finding the one that gets crit strike. And then this is just tankiness. Unfortunately, yeah, the shirt and pants are still bound to character, so I have countless numbers of these that I've just not got around to deleting from my recent runs. This is me sitting static. Obviously these do go up and down when in combat. Enhancements, I'm running the Unholy Protection ×2, Garnet, 2 Amalettes and 1 Amethyst. I'm running the Celestial Rhyme Temper for the increased hit points and damage reduction, and then obviously the tank's taking a little bit less damage from that stack of possibly 3, reducing the boss damage by I think 13.5%, and obviously movement speed is I think the best thing that can go there. Going over to powers. Powers will switch depending. This is my build for team support, so I will have the Aura Protection, or I can have the Aura of Wrath on, depending. This here is brilliant. However, this is what you should be running for party content. I don't know why I'm not. I actually need to retrain that when I get around to it. But this will allow your Shield of Faith to do more healing. It heals. As the Shield of Faith is what you use to help people with the tank busters. So yeah, just all across the top, I'd recommend this one down here, and the rest of my builds I do, and then this one, Intimidating Presence, for AoE aggro, or just aggro in general. Divine Challenger for my smite, and Aura, whichever one the party needs. Going up, Shield of Faith is a must, and then if you're really focused on keeping aggro, which on the boss upstairs it doesn't really matter at all, so therefore I'm not running it, but Divine Judgment helps you keep aggro. In a pinch, you could use this, but there's no need to use that in most content now. Smite, Absolution for the damage resistance, and Binding Oath for the survivability. Over here, I have Oath Strike for the AoE to trigger my effects, and Radiant Slam just to close the gap. And over here, I actually don't have anything slotted, this is what I tend to run. But I could run Vow of Enmity instead of Smite. I could, to be honest, take off Absolution and run something else. But this is just what I'm running for MSOD. MSOD's super easy to tank. There's my boom points, you can have a little look through there. There's nothing overly special there. And here I'm running defense to get the stats. Yeah, MSOD is super easy. As long as you know the runes and how to maneuver yourself with mechanics, you'll be completely fine. I run Armor Break, and whatever companion the group needs. This time it's Wrath for the damage reduction. And this is from, I believe, North Dark, if I remember rightly. This is from Mount Hope now, and this is from mod 31, which is obviously, I forgot what it's called. It's the MSOD trial one. I can't remember what it's called now. Soul's Harvest, that's the one. And they are just, like, I didn't need the other stats, so Deflect Severity and Deflect it was, but more for the item level than anything else. Here I've got Defense, I've got Raptor's Instincts for part of the pack, giving me obviously that power. I don't need that, but my DPS and my support friends who are healing very much appreciate everyone running that. Critical Avoidance and Defense, Critical Avoidance, and then down here I've got the Moonshade Druid for that Critical Avoidance. If I was to run the Lich, yep, the Undying Overlord, I would get 9% reduction to damage, and I would actually survive better, but I like my stats as high as possible and looking pretty. I've got whatever the party needs in the combat, so in this case the dragon, and then I've got Pack Tactics to buff the party's combat advantage. And that's my Paladin build for obviously the MSOD trial. It's very simple. I've got my main tank and my test tank now, and the only difference really is just what I'm building into. So this one here, as you see, everything's propped pretty high. I will get to almost full caps with obviously I can, so I've built builds where I can cap all my stats, like all of them up to 120 on the Deflect Severity, Deflect, and I can build that where I proc up to that. But I don't run the Fortified Nature. I don't think it's necessary, because I don't think Deflect and Deflect Severity is at the moment necessary. This is a build which just is nicer to look at. However, because of this chest piece, the awareness and critical avoidance drops on and off far more often. I'm also running the Dark Lake Ward Ring, because this is more for running dungeons, and this just helps with aggro mixed with divinity, mixed with your divinity, obviously for your right bumper, with aggro adds. Here I used to run, where is it? There it is. I used to run an increase to my maximum divinity because I only use Smite for aggro. Now I tend to use Vow of Enmity as well for aggro. And I'm also in this build running, obviously, the Neck and Waist set for the Jewel of Caldera, giving the 15% increase to my aggro, basically. They deal 15% less threat. So as the mods have gone on, DPS have got more powerful, and us supports, not healers, but us tanks, we have not been given greater and greater aggro generation. So if I'm in a particularly strong group, I've got Vow, and over here I have got Aura of Valor, and that's my, if there's a group that really pulls super hard, then this for my RT call is going to really help. Obviously, I would rather run Aura Protection or Aura of Wrath to help out with the party's damage, and I'd rather run Absolution for a bit more survivability, but most content in the game you don't need it. And here I'm running Divine Judgment for the daily, for the aggro, and here Sheltering Light. And it doesn't really change much, to be honest. Doesn't really change much. And lastly, my test tank. This is running this is like basically my highest end gear effectively. So I'm maxing out my stats as much as possible, with not reducing my my overall hit points. So my hit points are 2.840, and these are my stats, and my awareness goes up by 8. Obviously, I'm getting the negative 4% incoming damage, instead of going here for the Lich with the 9%. If I'm struggling, I will chuck the Lich on, which is down here, and the Lich will obviously be the best in slot for that instead of those two stats, although those two stats are very important. These weapons are still best in slot for pure survivability, giving a flat bonus of 5 negative incoming damage, going up to 0.6, so that would be, for each stack, that would be 11% negative incoming damage. If you're in wild space, then it would be even higher. It would be at 12 maths, 16, 17, about 17% negative incoming damage, so massive bonuses there. More increase to maximum hit points. Artifacts, whatever you need. I use this for the 40 and item level, and combine rating as well, because the combine rating is nice. And then Miflar obviously is just the one that gives the most damage increase. Here, proccing my critical avoidance, proccing my defense, getting those up to cap, and then I'm running the advanced and the master Death Silver Hoop and Rot Steel Hoop. A broken set for Constitution to get those hit points as high as possible, and then nothing else really changes on the back page here, apart from I'm running a Bone Filigree and obviously a Cobalt. And here, once again, it depends on whatever the party needs. If I do this, I'll cap my defense all the time. If I don't, well, more aggro. I don't need to go into defense here. I just go incoming healing, and that helps the healer out, and then all this stuff is just your normal tanking stuff. Whatever companion they need, and this is what I'm running. And lastly on the back page, I'll have Hamstrong for a bit of fun, but obviously I'll run debuff companions, pack tactics, and these are my bonuses for all the sides of the tank. Protectors, to obviously do with ratings. Guardian Spirit times 3 for the maximum of 15% overall hit points and a little bit of defense. And Lionheart's Perseverance, obviously just for a bit of survivability. Give me a little heal when I get a little bit low. So that is my Paladin tank. I'll quickly go through my artifact rotation. So when an artifact call comes, I'll pop up my right bumper. I will obviously got my artifact, I'll use my daily, I'll use my vow, I'll use my smite, and then I'll come off and just hit. And that will usually hold aggro long enough. If not, I can always pop my smite and just get a little bit more back. Let's say they are ripping still, I can then use my vow. Obviously the boss would actually be doing damage to me, this boss doesn't hit me very hard, and that would be allowing me to get my divinity back. So with the Paladin, when we block on our shield, we instantaneously get divinity back. Which leads me into how to tank adds effectively. Now, this one doesn't have the Ring of Many Tiny Circles, the Dark Lake Ring, which is a mastercraft piece that you can buy off the auction house for relatively cheap, as you see here. what I'll do is we have what's called Binding Oath. Now, Binding Oath gives us a massive stamina regeneration. So as we are being attacked by these ads, they're not actually attacking me, but let's pretend they are. As we're being attacked by the ads, I'll use my right bumper to draw aggro. They'll start hitting me, I'll dig in. As I dig in, my stamina goes down, but my divinity would actually go up. I then pop out, keeping my right bumper on, and I run about with my Binding Oath on until my aggro comes back, my stamina comes back, then I dig in again, and I get my divinity back. And I can rinse and repeat that for a good while, so I can survive a very long time in AoE. And lastly, obviously, for group survivability, during heal checks, let's use that Shield of Faith, allowing everyone the extra healing. Anyway, that's a quick run over. If you have any questions about my tank build or tank builds in general, especially the Paladin, as that's my main tank, please don't feel afraid to comment and ask me some questions, and I will happily make videos based on those suggestions as well. Leave in the comments what you would like me to make a video of next, because I've got every single class, a lot of classes that are a bit outdated though, because I've not ran a lot of them since mod 30. But I still have obviously built them up to a certain extent. So if you want to see another class, just comment and I'll see about possibly making them. Thank you very much, and goodbye for now.